Hello, I'm back. I know I've been gone, and it was kind of a unannounced exit. Um, I just had a rough couple weeks, and I need a little bit of time to regroup, reformulate, and now I'm back, and just in time for the holiday season, my least favorite time of the year. But we are going to push forward. Yeah. So, so who's ready to talk about what's happening this week? I, yeah, I think I am. Hello, and welcome to What's Happening. That's where I tell you about all the interesting and fun things that are happening this week around the world. I always give my usual disclaimer, I'm only one person, and I don't know everything that's happening around the world. So if I've missed something that is very important to you, please don't be upset with me. Just shoot me a comment below, contact me on social media. I'll tell you how to do that a little bit later. And I will either put it on the list for next year, or if it's still going on next week, I can talk about it then. Now, before we get started, this is your first time here. Hi, I'm Gretchen, the Tipsy Travel Guide. I'm a licensed esthetician and a travel agent, and it is my desire to eat, drink, and spa my way around the world. Of course, bringing you with me, of course. So I can introduce you to new places, some interesting things to do, as well as some delicious food and drink. Of course, my goal is to inspire you to travel as well, whether that be international or domestic. So if that sounds like something that might interest you, please consider subscribing to my channel, please and thank you. And if you're wondering more about the journey I've taken, actually it's kind of a bizarre journey. It's computer programmer and trainer to licensed esthetician to travel agent. I'm going to include a link to my GoFundMe page where I kind of explain in detail how I got to where I am and where I'm planning on going and why. And if you have a couple extra bucks to spare, I would also really truly appreciate that as well. But let's talk about what's happening this week, because we got some more good food and we've got burning flesh. So let's do it. So Eat Berlin actually started on November the 2nd. It runs all the way through November the 12th. This festival was established by self-described foodies, wine drinkers, Berlin lovers, and entrepreneurs. Now, there are no associations, industries, corporations, or anything connected to this food festival. Basically, it's a gourmet food festival created by people who love food. Basically what it is, it's a collection of restaurants, brew pubs, breweries, wine bars, and they custom create a tasting menu that they will serve for at minimum one night. And then they kind of create an agenda so you can go to multiple things at once. You don't have to miss things. Now, a lot of these menus do also include handcrafted drinks. Those tickets are a little bit more expensive, but essentially you get an evening that is handcrafted by the chef of the restaurant. Some of these places have entertainment as well, and each one requires a ticket. So they have an agenda of all the restaurants that are participating and the nights that they are having their meals, and you can go on the Eat Berlin's website and buy tickets to these events. And with these tickets, you get your entire meal. So you're going to get not only experience, but you'll get food, hopefully drinks, and everything else that comes with it. Now, most of the meals were under 200 euro. In fact, I know that the closing gala, I want to say it was like 169 euros. So, I mean, for a good coursed meal, almost all of them were 4 courses and above. That's not a bad price. And if you're getting liquor with that, that's a good deal. So if you're going to be around the Berlin way, I definitely would check out their website. I'll include it in the description below. And stop by and try some delicious, not just German, international food and drink. Let's move on. So November 5th is the Thimothy Festival, also known as the Firewalking Festival. And that's being held in Tamil Nadu, India. So this festival is an actual religious practice, kind of like a penance and requesting a blessing. Essentially, these devotees walk across hot coals and or fire pits. Now, they do this in exchange for a blessing from the goddess Draupadi. Now, I'm going to just preface this up front. I'm probably going to butcher some of these Indian names. Just know that I'm trying my hardest. Okay? So let's get into why they do Thimothy. Draupadi had a very difficult story. that involved things like torture and humiliation. And essentially, her fury and revenge drove a 13-year war called the Mahabharata War. She was eventually forced to marry 5 brothers. And one day her husband and the brothers were playing a game of dice. Now this dice game was actually being played with loaded dice in the favor of the opponent. Apparently the dice could not disobey the player, so of course he won every roll. Now the brothers, not knowing when to cut their losses, lost all of their earthly goods, as well as losing their freedom and becoming slaves to the individual that they were playing against. One of the brothers, who didn't want to stop playing, eventually put up Draupadi as a stake. Well, she wasn't happy about it. She protested, said that wasn't fair, and basically they just allowed the game to go on, and sure enough, she lost her freedom. So the person who was playing the game ordered Drushahana to go get her from her dwelling. So he violently drags her there, and he's holding her by her hair and trying to strip her naked while she's dirty and bloodied and just humiliated. Eventually, the goddess Krishna stepped in. So as he was trying to strip her naked, she kept giving yards and yards to her sari so he could never get all of the clothing off of her. And the crowd took note that a goddess was actually taking care of her and protecting her. Eventually, Dushana had to stop just from sheer exhaustion because every strip of clothing he was pulling off of her was being replenished by a god. At the end of it, exhausted, Draupadi said she would never tie up her hair again until she had bathed it in Dushana's blood. And as she began to curse the entire dynasty from which he came, finally, a level head, another female, the queen stepped in because she realized there was nothing more lethal than a pious woman's curse. So as she was beginning to curse them, she stopped and granted her some boons. So with these boons, she decided to A, release her entire family and herself, and B, restore their wealth. And with that, the entire community plunged into war. After a bloody 13 years, Draupadi and her side emerged victorious. And true to her word, she bathed and combed her hair in the blood of Tushana and all the others that she vanquished. Then, to prove her purity, she walked barefoot across coals, thus creating the Themathi festival. So only the brave partake in this festival, and by walking across the coals, you prove your own purity and get a blessing from Draupadi. I highly recommend you looking it up and reading the whole thing from start to finish and reading about her and what she went through. And that is it for what is happening this week. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider liking this video, and definitely don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you would like to comment below, please do. You can also find me on all the other social media networks as Tipsy Travel Gal. Feel free to message me or direct message me there. I will try to get back to you as fast as I can. Again, don't forget my GoFundMe page. I'm going to be linking that in the description below. And until next time, bye.